Alright guys, I'm going to analyze some shorter time frame stuff here. So let's start out on the daily and let's see what's happening. Alright, we obviously the inverted head and shoulders played out very well. We bounced off of the parabolic adoption trend line, and we have sliced through very important points of control. Right here you can see this line. I mean, look at all the price action that occurred in this area here. A lot of confluence. So the next place on the VPVR is right around here. So around 10,100 is the next spot that we might potentially see some selling pressure, as possibly some whales that accumulated down here will sell off some here. Probably the most important thing that I'm looking at right now, though, is this symmetrical triangle that we're in is basically the most important formation, structural formation as of right now. When the price goes down, I'm not too worried about those insider shenanigans because we've got the parabolic adoption curve to save the day. So we bounced off of it as expected. So we may hit the top of this line. There seems to be some pressure, downward pressure here. So there's also confluence with this 10,100 VPVR, 10,000 to 10,400. That should probably be more like a box, to be honest. Let's get a rectangle here. And so I'm going to draw this from about 10,100 to, you know what, I'm going to plug in a mouse. It's going to make this a whole lot easier. Alright, so this box right here seems like potential for resistance. This is what we're heading towards. It's a very, very, very important area here. So this is the first point of possible rejection. Now, if we get flat out rejected at 10.1, then it's likely that we will come back down, and the lowest we could probably retest is 8,000. I do not see us going below 8,000 again, possibly ever. I'm not obviously sure. I don't have a crystal ball. It could certainly come back and test possibly into the upper 7,000s, but it depends on what the market makers want to do. If they are intent on pumping this thing, then there's going to be a lot of buying, and so I don't know. I don't see it going down that far. Even if we stop here, it'll be maybe some selling, but if they're gunning to break this downward channel, then it might come up and hit some resistance, but I expect it to break at some point. And it just depends on if the whales are going to come in and burst through it or not. They got the money to do so. We've seen it. I mean, look at this. We went from, what is this, like 7,400 all the way to 10,400? That's a $3,000 like jump right there. I mean, if we did that here, we would break through so much confluence of potential resistance that people will get very excited, I believe. So don't forget, that could happen again. And so anyway, here, obviously, there was a lot of selling pressure down. They weren't ready. It wasn't time. This was not an accumulation period right here. This was accumulation down in the 6,000s, not in the 8,000s. So that's what they did. 6 and 7,000 they accumulated. So did I. I went long and I made 30% gains. So congrats to me. Pat on my back. All right, we are currently heading into oversold territory on the daily. So there is a little room to pump. We're not completely oversold. So it might happen where this could be a bull flag right here. That would be real nice. There's a bull flag. Boom. And then a measured move. Let's just clone this. I'll just delete that one. All right, measured move takes us up to 9,500. Let me see if we measure it from the breakout here, like we probably should. We're looking at potentially 9,700, right? So getting up there to 10,000, which would be a great stair step. Anyway, a stair step that makes sense because we're heading into where there was a lot of selling pressure and distribution range up here. So it's below our green box, but if we can get up here and accumulate, then we can make a run at the green box and all the confluence here. So if this bull flag plays out, that would be nice because then the RSI could cool off a bit for the next leg up. So that's potential. And we would have room to stay in this channel actually, and not quite break out of it. The channel might widen a little bit if it consolidates over, comes down a little bit before they go up, but there seems to be a lot of news coming out about the halving, so it's potential that the market makers control the news as well. Who do you think feeds these news outlets? They need content daily. Who do you think gives it to them, right? So the market makers use the news to manipulate people's emotions. So the halving might be the perfect chance to do that. I know in the last halving, that's kind of where things kind of broke, and then a bull run ensued. So there's potential. There's potential. I mean, who knows? If they want to pump the price and create a new all-time high at the halving, if this channel would have to stay intact, right? So, it's potential. If that's what they're doing, then we are in that channel. We are aimed directly at a new all-time high at the halving, right? You see that, right? All right. So, and in fact, it goes more like this. So there's room for some shenanigans, some selling to take place, some consolidation, and still hit an all-time high this summer if the bullish sentiment goes crazy like it did in mid-2019. So there's potential we could get another huge rally that breaks the all-time high. Or that could be used to get up there, consolidate, create a lot of sellings where they sell, reaccumulate, and then finally burst through it in Q3 or Q4 2020, and maybe Q1 2021 at the latest, right? So anyway, breaking the all-time high, you're going to see some selling here, but I know this market. We've all seen it. Anyone who's seen this market and observed it long enough knows that the FOMO will be out of this world. I mean, look what happened here in 2019. I mean, I feel like they could have let this run, but it was a money grab. Why let it break the all-time high now when they could sell, bring it back down? I mean, I believe that they made more money, right? And people are still hodling through bad positions, and they're holding it. And that's why the demand is so high that this parabolic adoption curve keeps going up. People are adopting it and holding it. Right? So not everybody sells. People are holding off to sell at a higher price. And it didn't get down low enough really for us to be worried about breaking the all-time high. I mean, this went to 4K to 14K, $10,000 in 3 months. If this went $10,000 in the next 3 months and it did the same thing, dude, we're gunning for a new all-time high, guys. So anyway, the short-term action kind of speaks to the long-term vision, potential visions of what could happen, potential scenarios here. So in any case, right now, pretty much the main thing that I see is a bull flag that would finally send the RSIs, into oversold, which we haven't been in a long time. But once it does go oversold, like it did back here with this this boom candle here sent it in the oversold territory, then I believe that would make it likely to kind of continue pushing upward. So I don't know. I don't see any bearish momentum here. As far as I'm concerned, we've broken this downward channel here that everybody's been freaking out about. I wasn't too worried about it. So I mentioned in my last video that I drew my line more like this. I cut off this stupid shenanigan wick, right? And so as far as I'm concerned, we broke out and consolidated above this downward trend a while ago. So we've climbed above it, and we are now making higher highs. So yeah, structurally, I mean, people are waiting for a break of this wick. I know a lot of analysts are waiting for a break above this wick, and that wick is right in all that confluence. So yes, absolutely, 100% breaking this structurally it will get very bullish at that point. There's so much confluence there, right? But I think really this is a shenanigan wick anyway. So breaking above 9,500 is huge, because that is where we found a lot of support in this region, guys. A lot of support around this green line, and that's right where our next bull flag leg should take us to, which would be fantastic. I would love to see that. So in my next video, we're going to analyze kind of what's happening. We're going to see if this channel stays intact and see if Bitcoin stays gunning for the top of this huge symmetrical triangle, which Bitcoin is coiled up like a cobra ready to strike. So potentially we come up here, we get rejected at our box, and then if we don't break back down below the parabolic adoption curve, then if we retest this box, then it's over. I believe that we will re-break it at that point. We might not go all the way back down to the parabolic adoption curve, because now we've created support. So we very well might test up into this box, and then some selling will happen, distribution, and then it might bring us back down. But we'll probably find support around 9,500, 9,600. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what could potentially happen. But man, this right here is, this is looking juicy. This is good times for crypto right now, for Bitcoin. Look at this. This confluence, this area is going to be very, very, very important. I am very happy about Q1 2019. I'm looking to make a lot of money on my way to making $1 million in crypto. So anyway, thank you for joining me on my journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. None of this is to be considered trading advice. Please do your own research, your own analysis. It's your money, not mine. I've got my money. I'm willing to risk and lose, but you know, your own risk profile is yours and yours alone. I'm doing what I do, and so far so good. If we're heading into a bull run like I think we are, then trading from here on out should be much easier than the last 2 years. So join me on the journey. Please subscribe, like, and tick that little bell, because I'm going to try to make a video at least once a week. And as time goes on, I'm going to get my videos will become more regimented, more like a program, and but I guarantee all of them will be packed with hopefully information that will be useful to the crypto community. So peace, love, and crypto, guys. Catch you next time. Bigger.